Yeah, friends,
Yeah.
welcome once again in the series of on various subjects which as NIARS has been organizing.
Excuse me, Mr. Anilji, your voice is breaking.
Just a second then. Is it okay now?
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Yeah, I'll not take much time. So once again in the series on which we have already organized various programs and invited the esteemed speakers. After the government announced the Jitman 2021, a fear is still persisting in the hearts and mind of the retirees. What will happen tomorrow? What is the fate of New India if the government decided to go for the privatization? There are various questions which are coming and going out of the mind of retirees and bothering them. So today we have among us Mr. Manokaran. He is retired as DGM. I invite Mr. Vijay Maheskar.
One second, Mr. Anil Sharma ji. There is a connectivity problem with me. I wait for a minute.
Okay, no, not an issue, sir.
I will rejoin again.
So you may carry on, sir.
Yeah, I will rejoin, sir.
So I request Mr. Maheskar to take over.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Uh,
It's all yours, sir.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. I think Anilji, Mr. K.S.N. Murthy is not seen in the meeting.
Yeah, actually, he has sent me a message and he has spoken to me also. He has some urgent work to be completed. So in a few seconds, he will be joining us. In the
Okay.
meantime, he asked us to go ahead.
Okay. Namaskaram, sir. Manogaram, sir. Namaskaram. Uh, Good evening, friends. On behalf of NIRS, all Mr. Anil Sharma ji already invited. Welcome to all people. So it's my duty also to welcome you all, and today's our guest, Sri Manogaran sir, also for this meeting. Indeed, it is a pleasure, sir, to have you in this meeting. In fact, we were thinking uh, getting you a long back, but materialized. Ultimately, the day has come, and you have been most cordially invited for this, and you have given your consent for this meeting and express your views. Before we proceed to today's proceedings, I would like to introduce Mr. Manokaran sir to the house. Mr. Manokaran sir is well qualified. He's a postgraduate in science. He's a MSc. Then in under fire branch of general insurance, he's associate. And prior to joining New India Assurance, he worked as an auditor in one of the local fund office in Bangalore. Then he joined Bank of Maharashtra for a short period. Then ultimately, I think his Almighty must have felt that his services are required in general insurance. So he has been selected as a direct recruit in 1978 under GIC. After completing his induction training at College of Insurance, Mumbai. He has been posted to New India Assurance and then to Ahmedabad Regional Office. He is from the first batch of direct recruits in 1978. It's great to have a first officer on our today's meeting. He worked in Bangalore, Chennai. He also worked in Tide department in head office and also head office corporate level also. He has played a very major and important roles in particularly bank assurance as well as auto tie-up. I think today the bank assurance and auto tie-up are successful because of he has pioneered that scheme, and if I am not wrong, that still it is continuing successfully. Thank you, sir, for that initiative, pains you have taken for this bank assurance as well as auto tie-up insurance. And then lastly, and after working in so many departments, so many and various designations, finally has come to Mumbai Regional Office as Deputy General Manager. He was very successful. Mumbai Regional Office, the largest RO in India, controlling a very retail business. So he has controlled that business till from 2004 to till his retirement in October 2010. See, Mr. Manokaran had a very different quality, I should say. Very cool profile. He has got very cool profile, and he is well versed with so many languages other than English and Hindi and his mother tongue, Tamil Nadu. He knows Telugu, Gujarati, Malayalam, and whatnot. So with this authority in the languages, he has developed so many contacts even till today. After retirement of 10 years, also he is maintaining the same relations with each and everybody, and people are also very happy with his approach. I had the opportunity to work under him as a senior division manager in Mumbai Regional Office 1. I had a very nice time. It was a pleasure to work under you, sir. Really, I had a very nice time for last 8 years in Mumbai life. The cooperation, the support he had given to me in successful of my divisional officer and my tenure also. Because Mr. Manokaran sir has got a very novel ideas every time in his mind. He used to contribute and he used to make juniors, his subordinates also take that responsibility in fulfilling all his whatever the task he used to give, and he used to support it. So there are a number of opportunities as he had given me. So it is really thank you very much, sir, for this, all those opportunities he had given. Today it is a great day for us because instead of hearing me, I think my friends are eager to hear from you what is prevailing in our industry. Before that, sir, I wish you and your family on behalf of NIRS a happy and healthy life in future. Stay blessed, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, Anil ji. Anil ji, please take over. Hello. Anil Sharma ji.
No, Manokaran ji, it's all yours now. Manokaran ji?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vijay Kumar Maishkar. Hello, Mr. Anil Sharma and Mr. K. Sanmurthy for inviting me to this wonderful virtual meeting of New India Assurance pensioners under the name of NIRS, beautiful name you have given. I know most of you by name. You are all very active. You have been contributing wonderfully for the benefit of New India Assurance pensioners. What is in store for us? How are things going to unfold in the days to come? It's a subject we should discuss again and again. So in that respect, you have chosen a holiday, that to evening hours, for a discussion. When Mr. Murthy called me a few days back, I thought it is a pertinent subject. I should join. And subsequently, Mr. Maishkar also had a talk with me, and I gave my consent. That is why I am here today. Whatever I speak today will be purely my personal opinion. I get pension from New India. I'm grateful to the company. I always take pride in calling me as a New Indian, and I am indebted to New India Assurance. What should I speak about my association with New India? It's all fresh in my memory. My first posting was in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad, I had a wonderful time during the prime of my youth. I worked under great leaders like Mr. Kirit Dalal, who was himself a direct recruit officer. And from that manner, I started my career. And later on, I had wonderful postings in several parts of the country. And I also had a chance to work in corporate office. Very few people get chance to work in head office. I had that also. Towards the end of my career, I was posted to Mumbai RO1. At that time, it was the largest regional office of its kind in the entire industry. We in Mumbai RO1 had the highest volume of business, highest volume of documents for the entire industry, highest volume of grievances. In fact, in those days, the premium underwritten by one typical DO under MRO1 was equal to the combined total of 3 northeastern regional total premium. And as far as number of employees was concerned, the total manpower strength in Mumbai RO1 was the manpower of 2 or 3 DOs in any one of those ROs. That was the kind of challenge I had. And during my tenure in Mumbai RO1, a lot of wonderful things happened. And with the cooperation of my colleagues in those days, like Mr. Vijay Kumar Maishkar, I could leave a mark in the regional office. And they are all fresh in my memory. If you want to ask any question, I'm here to respond. Whatever I know, I will say.
Murthy, you take the lead, please.
Yes, okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you are
hear?
audible, sir.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Sir, first of all, we welcome you, sir, for
Thank you.
giving us the time to share your experience with our New Indian family members. We are very much grateful to you because you have a vast experience, and as per your profile, I have seen that you are the first 1978 when the GIC had opened for its recruitment for AAOs. You were in the first batch. So
Yes,
long back it is. Even I joined New India in 78, of course in a different cadre, and you joined in a different cadre. So that was the thing. And as you said, yeah, one has very few people have the privilege of working in HO, DO branch office like that. So luckily for me,
You-
somehow even I worked in HO, sir. I worked in PF section.
Yeah, I
in
would like to
78.
interrupt you, Mr. Murthy, for a second.
Yes,
Yeah, people are having some problem
yes,
in
yes,
hearing you. Just a second.
yes, yes. Okay.
Eknath Pawari, can you hear it? Can you hear me? Thumbs up. Give a thumbs up, please. Thank you, Murthy. Please carry on.
Hello.
Achyut Kulkarni is unable to hear, I suppose. Hi, Kulkarni.
Hello.
Yeah, please carry on.
Okay. So I had worked there for 4 years, sir, up to
Okay,
82. Then I was posted to Mittal Chambers and then to Hyderabad and finally to South Side. And I'm also from Bombay. So I was brought up in Bombay. I had my education in Bombay. So as Maisekar said that you know multiple languages, even I have some privileges like you. I can talk English, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi. 6, 7 linguistic both. So we can talk in other languages also, sir. But here it will be in English only, sir. The session will be in English. So first,
how come Punjabi? How come
hello.
Punjabi?
No, there are many South Indians are also there. Even Punjabi, I can speak fluently. There's no problem with it. But right now, we'll have it on 31st December. Whatever languages everyone knows can speak on that. So first thing, sir, I'm starting the questions. Sir, is it audible, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. How about you? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you. So first thing is, sir, future of our general New India Assurance Company. Forget about gender. First, our future from where, being a New Indian, we are, as a New Indian, I'm asking that, sir. What is the future prospects of a New India Assurance Company? As you are well connected with the president executives also, you must be having some more information. That's the idea. Of course, this is a personal opinion, sir. Nothing, no binding.
Yeah.
It's a free talk.
It's always interesting to talk about our, the great company in India. It is close to my heart. Of course, I am out of New India for the past 11 years, and I do not have the internal information. Whatever we hear from outside, only that can help us to formulate some talk. If we have to talk about the future of New India, let us go back to the time of nationalization, how the company started. New India started with a premium of 40 crores. The next 2 or 3 years were very bad for New India because the other companies which were merged with New India were not performing well. Therefore, the performance, cumulative effect of performance of other companies pulled down New India's performance. In those days itself, New India had to show underwriting loss. It was in the year 1976. New India became #1 company with maximum market share. You all will remember that in those days, we were under TSE control for the underwriting guidelines. The rates were same for all the companies. Wherever, whichever business was not under tariff had market agreement. In other words, all 100% of the underwriting happened in a structured manner. When the tariff conditions were same, market agreement was applicable to all the companies, New India became #1 in the year 1976. Please feel happy, feel proud that till today New India is #1. In those days, I have seen in some months New India enjoying a market lead share of 35%. If it is more, I do not know. You will have to tell me. 35% out of the 4 companies. Ideally, it should have been 25 for each of the 4 companies. New India enjoyed as high as 35% when I joined, of course. And why New India enjoyed so much? It was because of the strong underwriting policy, the procedures. People call about the cashless settlement of motor OD claim, health insurance claim, like that. You know which company was the first one to introduce this? Way back in 70, when I joined this company in the year 1978, at that time itself, motor OD claims used to be settled directly with the repairers. That was introduced for the first time by New India. In that manner, New India introduced a lot of new things to the company. And people had faith in New India. And one incident I'll tell you, I visited Dubai on 3 occasions. If you go to Dubai and inform your friends, somehow, you know, people, like-minded people join together and host a lunch or dinner. On all the occasions, I had a chance to meet New India, insurance fraternity. You will be surprised to know that at least 50% of the participants were all ex-New Indians. That was the case in New India, in Dubai, also in any other, maybe African countries, other Middle Eastern countries. New India employee means there used to be so much demand. Why? Because of the underwriting philosophy and things like that. But unfortunately for New India, our owners, the company's owners, decided to shuffle senior level officers from one company to the other. The unique features of New India, you know, slowly got affected. But what I find is that in the recent last 4-5 years, people are not rotated just like that. And this has helped New India to retain the premier position. Presently, New India's market share is around 15.5%. New India has completed around 19,600 crores up to October. The gap between New India and the next largest company is more than 8,000 crores. I hope that New India will complete 31,000 or 32,000 in that vicinity, leaving a gap of about 8,000 to 9,000 to the next company. I feel that the same trend will continue for the next maybe 8-9 years. It's not so easy for the other companies to overtake New India. This I told you in terms of premium. What about the balance sheet? That is a worrisome fact. New India has not been showing any underwriting profit. And, the combined ratio, I believe, is, even though it has improved, it is still 20-25% more than the premium collected. It is not good, but if New India concentrates in bringing down the combined ratio, then it will be very good for the next maybe a decade or so. My own, the solvency margin is also very good for New India. But I think comfortably 7-8 years, there should not be any problem. The lead position will continue.
The next question. Hello. So
Yeah.
what is, we are hearing about this monetization, sir. Exactly what is it like, sir? What does that monetization specify? Because day in and day out, our finance minister is telling that this is a monetization we have to start. Demonetization we heard. This is a monetization. We want to know about. That's the thing, sir.
demonetization, incidentally, let me deviate just for a minute. I first heard when I was working in a bank. That was in the year 1977. The old 10,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees notes were demonetized at that time. First time I heard that term, demonetization. Of course, 2017, it became a very talk of the town, in our country, demonetization. But coming to monetization, even this is a new term for all of us. We are hearing this for the past maybe 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
Monetization, inclusive growth. These are the new terms which we are hearing. The dictionary meaning means, if you go by the dictionary meaning, it is nothing but realizing the monetary value of any asset, any property, like that. Why in government, central government, the monetization is happening nowadays, is heard quite frequently. This government is in a speedy manner, they want to offload government's stake in several organizations. They want to do it in respect of banking sector and insurance sector also, and realize the money, converting the value of their assets and their stake in some organization into money. This is what monetization, as far as I know.
So whether our assets have been valued by any actual this, sir, recently or something, any idea, sir? Whether our assets, present market assets, whether it has been valued.
New India is a listed company. And unlike in the past, every aspect of New India's assets and holdings, all these things will have to be properly estimated, and the value should appear in the balance sheet. If that has to be achieved, then proper valuation has to happen, audits will have to happen. Therefore, the net worth of New India, whatever we hear, I think it reflects the more or less real value. So it has to happen. Evaluation has to happen. Earlier, when the non-listed companies, see, when New India was not a listed company, you know that the New India has a lot of properties in premier locations, even in Mumbai also, in Malabar Hill area, all those places, lot of properties are there. Who did that valuation? There was no proper valuation done in those days. But now, after the listing has happened, I think valuation is really happening.
So another burning question is for our pensioners, sir. Suppose government is telling that one company will be disposed of. Of course, till date, all rumors are coming. This company, that company. Suppose out of the four, anyone is sold off. What will be the future of whether the private company will pay the same pension which we are getting, or whether any changes can be made by the private players, if at all?
See, New India has given commitment to the employees. Every employee has filled in forms to become a member of the PF pension. Pension forms are given both at the time of entry, as well as at the time of retirement. those forms are taken along with affirmation. Our signatures are put. And after that, I don't think they can go back on that. But how they will formulate, I do not know. At the same time, is there any parallel to this in any other sector? That is what we have to see. If any of you can find out from Air India could be one such example. Air Indian employees after retirement, they get pension. What they are going to do for Air India, those who will be retiring now under Tata ownership, what they will do, we'll have to find out. What you asked is a pertinent question. I don't think any of us can have a definite answer. On one side, the employees have given a very high hope that pension will be given during their lifetime and the lifetime of spouse. And all of a sudden, how can they cut it off? I don't think government will do any such thing. This is my feeling. I may be correct, I may not be correct. But let us find out from Air India if we have contacts with Air India pensioners and those who will be retiring. We can contact them maybe through official channels also. You are having an organization, a body, you have a body. I think you can also get in touch. Apart from Air India, there were so many other organizations which were privatized. What happened to those people? Let us find out. And same thing, in case anything adverse is seen in any other organization, we have to be careful. We will have to advise our future retiring employees to be on the guard. This is my feeling.
So,
What do you say? What do you say?
Okay, agreed, sir. We have to contact the Air India people as to what they have done and what were the terms and agreement during the part of the sale when it was handed over. Like that, we have to go through the procedure and what they have done to the pension, or that is the thing, because they are discussing about the liabilities only. About the assets also, they have not disclosed so far. And regarding, as you said, that pension also, we have to find out from them as to what they are doing. Like that is the thing. Another thing, so recently you might have seen a circular issued by New India, the irrevocable letter of pension, stating that our pension can be withheld on the grounds of fraud throughout the lifetime. Isn't it not arbitrary, sir? Isn't it New India's wordings are one-sided and are not given us a chance? How they can hold a pensioner responsible throughout his life, sir? Previously, there was a lien only for 4 years. Now, right from the September 21, they are taking an undertaking from an employee that he can be held responsible till his lifetime. How far it is correct, sir? Is it can the management do it? Because pension is a statutory this, sir. Can India powers to change it, sir? That is the thing. Of course, if you have an idea like that.
Yeah. See, it's a pertinent question, very good question, and it is good that you raised this point. All are about how many 33 participants are listening. It's a very good point. Others can also throw some light if they have knowledge. See, it is ridiculous that New India has introduced this all of a sudden. Does it mean that, hitherto the forms, the undertakings were not taken? Does it mean that an employee, retired employee, who has deliberately committed a fraud, and that comes to light after retirement, 6 months later, 10 months later, 1 year later, can anyone think that he will be spared? The company has got every right to pull him down and take necessary action. There may not be, I don't know whether any action can be taken under CDA rule, but a criminal action can be taken by the ex-employer, is it not? And my remembrance tells me that for the 3 years, anytime ex-employee can take action for the fraud or criminal act committed by the concerned delinquent ex-employee. I think they have every right to do that. And in some public sector undertaking, I remember having heard that 10 years after retirement, a CBI case was lodged, and that person who was in the 70s, he was also booked in that case, and he had to go and face the investigating agency for the fraud committed during his service time. When position is like this, why this all of a sudden? It is only to take advantage of his helpless condition. No retiring employee will hesitate to sign that, because if he doesn't sign, then he will not get any of his terminal benefits. This is the weakness any retiring employee will have, and using that weakness, these people are asking him to give that commitment, only to increase his blood pressure, the threat, and this is an insult to every retiring officer. Now, the question is, who can challenge this decision? And one more thing is not clear to me, whether this is done by only New India or all the GIPSA companies. Please clarify this to me. I don't think that only in New India this may have been introduced. Maybe it is in all the 4 companies plus GAC and other bodies. Another question is whether only in GIPSA companies this has been introduced, or is it as per the directive from people in the top, maybe DFS, maybe Finance Ministry, maybe Government of India. One more thing, why they have introduced, what made them to introduce this all of a sudden? Maybe because of their bad experience in some other organization. Some people may have challenged it in a court of law and successfully fought, and the ex-employer might have been in a helpless position. Therefore, in order to protect their hold on the erring officials, ex-officials, they want to introduce as per the Government of India directive. This is my feeling.
As you said, present position is till 4 years, the employer has rights on the employer. At present, it is 4 years. But
okay. I thought 3 years.
Yeah, but it's now 4, sir. But the only thing is, before giving the clearance, there's an audit clearance, vigilance clearance, everything is there. And after that, only dues are settled. And how they can, after 4 years, okay, that person can be scot-free. But here they are making it entire lifetime. It's not, I don't think it's valid in the court of law as per this. And as you said that we have heard only in New India, sir, this, that it's not, we have not heard in the other 3 GIPSA companies. Whether this is New India's own decision or of the all the GIPSA companies, we are unable to trace it, sir. Because only New India, we could see that letter. That is the irrevocable letter.
In that case, I have a feeling that because it is a listed company, there may be a directive coming from the ministry. That may be the reason. In that case, we will have to find out the position in GAC. If GAC also is following that, then listing is the only issue. I personally feel that this can be challenged in a court of law. Who will challenge it? Whether a pensioner body can challenge, or only the serving employees can challenge. I feel that only serving employees can challenge. If we can suggest this to New India, all associations, why only officers, all associations should be given this suggestion. After finding out whether GIC employees also have the same kind of circular matter.
So whether a bill can be filed, sir, public interest litigation on behalf of all, because everyone is affected, no, by this drastic rule. Whether bill can be filed against the company, because it's a public interest litigation, because our family pensioners are at stake and everyone is at stake, no, because all of a overnight company has come out with this drastic rule suddenly.
I don't think PIL is will have its success. See, even without as I retired exactly 11 years ago. If New India finds out that during my time I was involved in a fraud, they can still catch hold of me. And whether my pension can be touched, it is another debatable point. They can still catch hold of me. And this particular letter of undertaking, without that also it can be done.
Mr. Murthy, in my opinion, they cannot touch the pensions. You must have seen the recent order of the Supreme Court also in some case, which has been quoted by you only. Can you throw a light on that?
No, I did not quote that recent.
No, sir, not you.
Supreme
It
Court.
was Mr. Murthy who quoted that.
Murthy, okay.
Question for you, Murthy, now.
Yes.
No, 1 second. Let me complete. Therefore,
Sure, sir,
this
sure.
PIL, I don't think there is a need, because the company's ex-employers hold is still there on retired employees also. PIL is not required. Whereas the employees association, joint association of all the sections of employees, can challenge this in a court of law. Yeah. They can challenge, and I get a feeling that there is a bright chance for them to successfully fight it. Now over to you, Mr. Murthy. Please clarify about the Supreme Court judgment that pension cannot be touched.
Yes, that is there, sir, because pension is a gracious payment, sir. It's not that company has the right or something, because many Supreme Court judgments have given that it is paid for the services rendered to the company. So pension cannot be stopped at any cost. There are many judgments on that, sir. Supreme Court has given rulings in that case that it cannot be stopped in any case, because it is hard. The money, it is for the service which they rendered during their pay period, sir. That is the thing. That's why pension is being paid.
Am I correct in saying that very recently in some organization, which one exactly I do not remember, in some organization, the pension amount was cut on account of some misappropriation during the service time. The pension was cut, and the retired employee was told that so much is due from you, and it will be adjusted from the next 24 months pension, 36 months pension, something like that. This happened very recently, maybe 1 or 1.5 years, 2 years before. I have also heard about the Supreme Court, this one. Maybe I may have read your WhatsApp message in this regard. But at the same time, recently, somebody has cut the pension and adjusted it against the recovery. I do not know whether that particular retired employee has challenged it or not.
But judgments say that pensions cannot be stopped. So even if it is stopped and even if it is recovered, at least 1/3 amount should be given as pension for the sustenance allowances being has to be paid to the pensioner, sir, because he has the right to live. No, so that is the thing. And it cannot, because in our own New India case, some pension was stopped all of a sudden, as you said, and we had to fight and we had to restore it back, and then we made it in equal installments, sir, for a poor FTS employee of a New India pensioner only. They stopped us, that saying that after 15 years, they had paid more than 65 age, this pension was paid in full, and they started recovering, sir.
Mr. Murthy, I would like to quote a judgment from Supreme Court, recent judgment. It was not recent, it was given in 2008. It says that retirement benefits like pension and gratuity cannot be attached by authorities for recovery of dues.
Yes.
The Supreme Court has held that retirement benefits like pension and gratuity cannot be attached by authority for recovery of dues. And another court says the recovery of excess or wrong pension payments from the pensioner is being made in a manner that is not in keeping with the extent guidelines of the court orders. It is the court which has said the amount paid in excess should be refunded to the government in lump sum immediately after deduction of the same. This is also one of the court. Another court is no government dues can be recovered from the accumulation except the amount claimed by the financial institution as dues from the employee on account of loans taken from the employee on account of loans taken for house building purpose. No interest is payable on account on the delayed payments under the scheme. These were some courts which has come out of the various court verdicts.
Is it 2008?
In 2008.
Versus which
I don't have. I was just Googled it out.
If you have it, you can just send, we'll go through it.
Yes, sure. I'll find it out and I'll send it to you.
Yes, it's so good.
Even another quote is there. Observing that gratuity and pensions are hard-earned benefits of an employee, and right to receive pension is in the nature of the property, the Supreme Court has held that this right cannot be taken away from a government employee pending departmental or criminal proceedings.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling, that pension cannot be stopped at any cost. That's I'm harping upon.
That's why, that is why my opinion is also same, that the serving employees can challenge it in a court of law.
Exactly, sir.
And there is a bright chance for them to succeed.
Very right.
But servicing in employees unions are themselves weak, sir, nowadays. We are more stronger than them. That is the position now, because even in Dharnas also, in a JFT you call, we can see only hardly 15 to 20 people of all the 4 PSGIs anywhere in any center, sir. Photos are being sent on WhatsApp that this region has participated, that region has participated. If we count the heads, it hardly comes to 15 or 20. Now, mind you, sir, it's all the 4 companies, and they say that JFTU has given a dharna. I don't know how far will they be successful. Whether the in-service leaders have that guts to go and fight it. That's I'm doubtful, sir. As it is, we are more strongful and we are more in number than retired are more in number than the in-service, sir, in New India. That is the thing. So we are more stronger. We can go on rather than.
But in what way it will affect you? It is not going to affect you. You don't have a locus standi to.
Correct.
Question of humanity, sir. Compassionate, this humanity. Everyone is made to suffer for no fault of his. Had he done something, yes, he can agreed upon. But it's a total injustice, because just they have the pen to write it and do anything. They cannot wield it on anyone, sir. It's not the question of me or something. On the cost of this one, humanity, that one is being the injustice has been done to them. That is the idea, sir. Simple.
Or is it due to some other reason? Some top brass in the company may have received maybe C&AG remark or some kind of a dictum from the government on account of allowing some retiring employees go scot-free, and the mistake was found out after the retirement. And maybe he received sermons from the higher ups. How did you allow this to happen? Stop this. At least in future, you prevent this from happening. Henceforth, you make it a condition that they will agree to pay it back even after retirement in the form of pension cut. That may kind of message may have come to some top people in the company. That is the outcome. If it is only in New India.
So that we have to find out whether the other 3 companies have issued this type of circular or not also. We are unable to trace it. We have to find out from the other 3 companies.
Yeah. I'll also talk to other company people if any such thing is there.
And
From
if you
your
get
side,
a
you can
circular,
also.
if you get it, so just send it to us.
Yeah.
That is so what now exactly they are telling GIPSA and everything. So exactly what is the role of this GIPSA? It's a combination of all these 4 companies. Whether it is authorized to talk on behalf of all the 4 companies as to what is the actual role of the GIPSA, which is playing. It is playing.
Yeah, earlier, all the 4 companies were called as subsidiary companies. We all were only GAC was
Parent company.
in a limited company in its in some sense, but ours were not. We all were working under GAC, even though GAC's function was different and New India's the 4 companies' functions were different. All the 4 companies were reporting to GAC. The reporting system was like that. The 4 companies were reporting to government through GAC. And once all the 4 companies were made independent and the GAC was made a same kind of limited company, industry needed some common body to represent the industry with Government of India. So GIPSA was formed, I think, when was that? I think 2002 or 2003? 1999, no? 1999, I think it was formed. The first secretary was, who was that first person?
No idea.
Ex-Oriental chairman. He was there, and of course, Mr. A.V. Purushothaman was also there, and he was number 2 there. And most of the rules, bylaws were drafted by Mr. A.V. Purushothaman, Mr. M.V.V. Chalam, like that. 2-3 guys were there, and they took inputs from various sources and formulated all the rules. The purpose was to have a common body to represent the industry before the government, and also to achieve uniformity in HRM matters and other things. That is the purpose for which GIPSA was formed. In those days, GIPSA was not at all involved in promotion matters and other things. But now, what I find nowadays is that they are involved in promotions and so many things. Senior level officers promotions, GIPSA only is conducting, and the TPA matters, GIPSA only is managing. And in that manner, a lot of changes are taking place.
As you said that New India being a listed company, DFS must have given a letter that you can implement the same, whereas the other 3, so that means to say that New India is autonomous, correct? It can take its own decision, and they can improve our pension scheme, our wage revision. So why they are combining with the other 3 companies that if something like wage revision or pension this comes, they are saying GIPSA has to give it. And on the other hand, they said that you are independent, autonomous, and you can take decision. isn't it a dual role of the this? What is it like? As to exactly what is it like, sir? I'm unable to understand
Yeah.
the gist.
It is definitely a double talk. I am hearing this for the past several years. Now, New India is a limited company. Earlier, when it was not not a listed company, that time also New India's financial position was strong. You all will agree with me. Not for the past several years, New India's financial position was continuously very strong compared to the other three companies. New India had the capacity to independently negotiate with employees for finalizing salary. But whether it was permitted, whether other employees would have agreed, no, they would not have agreed. And the government also was not bold enough to take a decision in this regard. Now, same thing is happening. They are experts in dividing and ruling. They will divide and rule, and depending on the circumstances, whatever suits them, they will speak. There may not be any straightforward answer. The government, whoever goes according to the situation, whatever will best suit them, that reply they will give. But my personal opinion is New India is a listed company, GAC is a listed company, and there should be independent wage settlement for New India.
So that is correct, because they said that you earn your profit and get your salary like that. So New India is earning profit, whereas we are made to suffer because of the loss of the other three companies. So 12,500 crores have been given to them. They have shown a big zero, and whereas New India has shown good profits. So out of the four companies, the number one company is able to. It has a good solvency ratio. It has the capacity to pay. It can revise its pension also. It can give family pension also, sir. Why can't our board take a decision that we want to go alone as we are a listed company, sir? Can it be done by the top board?
That is what you have my full support. Let us go and do dharna wherever you want. We can do it, and provided we are very strong, we have to go and do that. Not only now, when I was in service also, I supported silently, of course, talking to very few people. I supported that New India should come out of this web
Yes, yes.
called four companies. And New India had the capacity. New India had its own tradition. And why should the New India's wage settlement to be linked with other companies? Now government is feeding the other three companies. For 12,000, 13,000 crore rupees was given, not a single rupee, whether anything was given to New India. Why should the New India be at the mercy of other companies? It is a correct position that you are taking. And the employees are entitled to get pay scale, and the retired people are also eligible for better pension and family pension, both.
So regarding this family pension, the 30% without stealing is being allowed to the bank. Whether the same can be implemented to us, sir, or whether we have to fight for it.
I think it will come for insurance, retired employees and the spouses also. It's a time-consuming process. It will definitely come, but I do not know when. If we have a strong body, very good influence with the ministry, it is possible to quicken the process. It cannot be denied at all. It will definitely come in the same manner as it was
Banks.
awarded to
Banks.
other financial similar institutions.
So wage revisions take place every 5 years, sir. For us, from right from the inception of the scheme, pension is as it is, except the DA twice in a year, 6 months. So why it cannot be done with every wage revision as it is done in the case of central government employees? Sir?
That is the question
Because
I am also asking.
Huh?
My question is also same. Why it should not be done? See, Government of India employees are getting.
Yes.
There is one chief secretary in my place, Andhra Pradesh Chief Secretary, Mr. K.V. Natarajan. He used to say his last salary was some 70,000, 75,000. Today he is getting a pension of more than 1,70,000 rupees. And it is revised at the time of every revision. Why it should not be given to us? The reason may be, who will buy annuities? The burden will fall on New India, our ex-employer, because how much they spend for every 10,000 rupees, I think 15 lakhs or so, correct? That is the kind of annuity New India has to purchase. What is the total number of pensioners? You said we outnumber others. So what is the
Yes.
total number of?
So even when I asked the number of pensioners under RTI, they have not replied, sir. They're telling that it is confidential. I don't know what is confidential.
What is confidential in this? What is confidential in?
That's what I don't know. That New India management reply was given that it is confidential and it cannot be disclosed under some section. Actually, that section is not applicable to us. But still, somehow they don't. I don't think they are maintaining the statistics. I'm doubtful whether they have the list or not. That is the thing. Because the number of pensioners we are asking, we're not asking for the pension amount. Then it infringes the right of the pensioner. But we are just asking as to how many pensioners are there in New India. They're not giving any answers.
No, we'll have to appeal. And then they will be forced to disclose the detail.
Because there's nothing confidential in it, and still they're taking the protection under that.
No, my point is, if the number of pensioners is around 12,000, 15,000 like that, for every 10,000, if 15 lakhs has to be, so much money has to go, who will give so much money?
Sir, another thing regarding this pension funds, where does our company invest, sir? Any idea? Of course, it is out of the way, but because that also they are not declaring the pension funds as to what is it like, sir. They are telling that is also confidential, and that is neither it is being displayed in the balance sheet of the company also, sir. Where is it as to what is it, where it is invested like or something, or what is done like?
I think we have to have 100% full faith in LIC. LIC is a mammoth organization. That is the richest organization in the country. And I think from 1952 till today, or nearly 70 years of existence of LIC, they have traveled through a lot of difficulties, plenty of challenges. Today, they are highly successful in investment matter, largest investor in the country. They have evolved a lot of investment policies with adequate checks and balances. So let us have faith in them, because in the last 50, 60 years, never have they failed in their performance. Therefore, they are very strong. They must be having a robust investment scheme. But what we hear is that they invest in predominantly government bonds, electricity board, housing boards, like that. And a small portion of the funds are invested in equity market. Therefore, we can safely take that our money is in the right hand. We need not have into our pension fund.
As you said in the balance sheet, this last year's balance sheet, there's no provision at all for wage revision. Can they still pay it, sir? There's no provision. There's a neat dash in that column, provision for wage revision of this 2017. There's a big dash, sir. Whereas for incurred claims, everything, the figures are available. So what does it indicate exactly?
But if you have seen the previous balance sheets also, this particular matter was not separately shown in balance sheet. Where they show, I do not know. But they do not have the practice of showing, I mean, keeping provision for the future wage revision funds. They do not have the practice, but they keep provision for all those items.
So when incurred claims provision is being shown, and they know as well that from 2017 our wages are pending, so why can't they show some extra so that they can have an idea? So this must be the 5%, 7%. Here, there's nothing like that, sir. Means we cannot come to any conclusion like that, it seems.
I
Or
get the
they
feeling.
they don't want to give the wage revision itself. What is it?
No. It's not, it is not like that. I get a feeling that no one knows, supposing, let us assume that the wage revision takes place 15% as per the press release. Let us assume that in January they pay. But March 2022, they have to keep a provision for future pay scale revision. They must be having a formula. And similarly to March 2023, 24, 25, till the next pay scale revision takes place, they must be keeping a safe provision. Now, at what rate the wages will be increased, no one knows. There will be a tripartite or bipartite negotiations happening between associations, management, like that. GIPSA will be there. There will be the link between government and all the employees. They discuss, they offer 8%, these people demand 30%. And after a lot of several rounds of negotiations, they arrive at a figure. How can anyone know what should be the provision for the wage revision? No one knows. Supposing they keep a provision of 20%, will not you ask for 20%? You already kept a provision of 20%. Pay me 20%. You will definitely ask. That is the reason why it is not disclosed.
It's true, sir. Okay, fine.
Hello?
Yeah, Murthy.
Whether GIPSA has any independent role, sir, whether can it take its own decision without consulting this 4 companies, or what is it like? Or is it does it act like just a postman? What is it? What is the exact?
It's correct. That is the exact word. They do only postman's job. They do not have any independent authority. They have to only compile data received from 4 companies and utilize it for whatever purpose they have collected it. How they will utilize it? The collected data will be passed on back to the companies, number 1, and maybe DFS, ministry, they may need the data. Whichever authority requires that, the information will be passed on. They do not have any independent authority.
So without proposal from the GIPSA or New India Board, can the government take a decision and implement the wage revision, sir?
Theoretically,
the authority.
No. They have full authority. But tell me one thing. They call all the unions only for namesake. You tell me, is there any single occasion where the employees' demands were fully
Met.
met. Nothing. They do some, this has become a trend, a pattern in the government's approach. What is that? If they are willing to give, let us say 17%, they will start from 12%. They make the employees beg, demand, go on strike for 2-3 days, and leisurely they will force their own decision to prevail. Right from 1979 or 80, the first wage revision after my joining the company, I saw the agitations and strikes used to be very vigorous in those days, not like what you find in present days. In those days, the agitations used to be very significant. Even in those days, government forced employees to go and actually virtually beg, please give, please. And what figure they have, they will definitely implement. In order to prevent unrest from happening, they will just do tamasha by calling you for a negotiation table, offer this and allow some time. And finally, whatever is there in their mind will be implemented.
As you said, unions are not playing that type of role as it used to be in 80s, sir. The way we used to go to pen down strike, hunger strike, and relay strike, everything. It was non-stop agitation. Nowadays, this especially the young recruits are not willing to participate itself, sir. They are now only leaders are left without followers. That is the present position of the union.
That's what I am also saying that.
That is
No, for every wage revision, the employees' conditions used to be so pathetic. They have to agitate, go on work to rule, go on strike, for which wage used to be cut. All those things used to happen. But nothing of that sort is seen nowadays. Number of people participating is also drastically coming down.
There's no participation at all, sir, except for some few leaders. There are no followers. That's what I'm telling you. That is everywhere. It is the same thing. All the 4 companies are participating with some 15 to 20 people, sir, out of 40,000 people.
Not only general insurance. Go to LIC. There also same thing. More or less same thing is happening.
But LIC could succeed, sir. Actually, they could make them cough out that is 26% for the wage revision. Here, nothing is on the near. That is the thing. We can't see any.
Yesterday, today's newspaper said some 15.5% they are going to get.
So we do not know, sir, whether it is correct or not. We are now paid channels, paid media have also come in. Okay. So as long as it's not gazetted, we can't trust any paper also.
I read it today only in some online message that the public sector insurance employees are going to get 15.5% hike, and finalization will happen shortly. Like that I read.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Okay, wonderful.
It's a wonderful interaction, sir. We could get the previous New India history, current trend, and we enjoyed a lot talking with you.
About New India, anytime if someone asks me, all these things will just flow out,
Sir, another final question, sir. We are writing so many letters to the management. No replies are coming. What can be done for that? Because you are on the management side.
No. How would I am on the management side? No. It is not like that. But, a strong body from pensioner side will definitely, we can prevail upon the management for achieving our desired ends. Definitely, it is possible. But you are not in headquarters. Who is there in the headquarters? They will definitely, they will go in a large number and take appointment of the concerned authorities, meet them and explain to them and repeat that approach at regular intervals. We will definitely succeed.
Now, JFTU for pensioners have to be formed. That means to say, that is the thing, not union. JFTP, that's all over India, for New India, not for, I'm not bothered about other companies. So because we had worked for New India, we'll ask New India only. Why should we go and ask?
Eh,
And as you said,
if you can negotiate only for New India pensioners, you have my support.
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So we have to just wait. Only go on applying and no reply we should accept from the management.
That should not continue. That approach
that
should not
But
continue.
we can't. We are in a helpless situation now, sir. That is the thing. Because they're treating retired people as deadwoods only. They're not treating us as senior citizens also. That is the thing. Especially our management, which I have found recently, it has gone from, there's no HR also. There's no HR at all for senior citizens. Now, even for life certificate, you can see that you have to go and give it in person. Whereas the same can be done online or on video call itself. We have given the suggestions, but how far will they implement, we do not know. So that is the thing. Even positive things are not accepted in the right way. So that is the thing.
Next month, the life certificate tamasha is going to start from January 1st. Yes. Therefore, it is the right time for you to, pressurize the management and request them to, revise the procedure. We have very little time now. Today is 21st, hardly 40 days.
Yeah.
In 40 days, this has to be done.
We have already written letters, sir, but as it is, apply, no reply. That is the present trend of the New India management, sir. That is the.
If you are planning to go to Mumbai,
yes, sir.
Go in large number with a lot of friends and.
1 minute mute.
Yeah, Rasiga, you have a question. What the question is?
Hello, Tata. How are you? I am Rasiga. I have a question for you, Tata. What do you have to say for younger students like me?
You come to me. You come here. I will tell you in person. Now, vacate the meeting room. leave the room.
I'm putting her on.
She is my granddaughter.
Okay. I was watching.
Rasiga, how did you join? Who let her in? Who let her in? Whoever is who is the host? Whether Mr. Murthy Garu or who?
No, it is me. I thought that she's one of the new Indians.
No. She's my granddaughter.
Okay. Thank you very much, Manokranji. You have given very clear answers to questions put by Mr. Murthy. And I'll request Mr. Murthy now to please put a vote of thanks for Mr. Manokran.
Before that, I would like to thank you, Mr. Anil Sharma, Mr. Murthy, Mr. Maheshkar, for giving this opportunity to me to share my thoughts. And it's wonderful time I had with all of you.
Thank you, sir.
A lot of familiar faces were there. And I'll be very happy to join your future programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So it's thank you from Rasiga.
Sharma ji.
हाँ जी सर.
हाँ, कृष्णमूर्ति केरला का है क्या देखो?
Just a second.
Krishnamurti Kerala.
He's there, I suppose. Yeah.
Is there?
Krishnamurti Ramayar.
Krishnamurti.
Yeah, he's there.
I saw his name.
Yeah,
I have asked him to unmute.
Yes. Is the present GS of Kerala. Yesterday he was selected. Just
That
is the thing. In place of Peter Burgess.
Acha.
Mr. Krishnamurti, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, all.
Good evening. Good evening.
The session was very informative and wonderful. No, sir, thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have we met? Have we met?
Answered all the questions. Yeah, long back. I have
Okay,
retired in 2015, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Then it was a wonderful session, and you have very nicely presented all the facts and figures. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then, Murthy sir.
Sir,
Murthy sir,
Manokaranji, if you wish to retire,
can
you
you
may
hear me?
please.
Hello.
Okay. Shall I leave?
Yeah,
No, no,
okay,
sir. If
sir.
you wish to say, you may please. It's all a New
Yeah.
Indian affair. Please stay back,
Okay.
sir. So I'm unmuting.
Hello.
I have allowed participants to unmute themselves. If they have any question, they can put. I think Mr. Murthy will be happily giving the answer to their question. You can unmute yourself, gentlemen. If you have a question, please go ahead. So, Mr. Murthy, please go ahead. Put a word of thanks for Mr. Manokaran. You have to unmute yourself, Murthy. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible now.
Whether Krishnamurti was there, sir?
Yeah, he was here only. Just a second. Let me find out.
Yes. Yes, left the.
He has
Hello?
left, I think.
Acha. So the only thing is that.
Yeah, he has come back.
Yes, come. Acha. Okay, just hand over to you.
Okay. Mr. Krishnamurthy, please unmute yourself.
Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. And yesterday we had our annual general body meeting, and a lot of discussions and resolutions were passed. And an important resolution was passed, and regarding our affiliation with NIRS Mumbai. And this is the main resolution, and I wish to convey this to Murthy sir. And the entire meeting was conducted in a wonderful manner, and a lot of proceedings were carried on, and veterans were honored with memento and Pernada. And these are the developments here in Kerala. We are having 500 members size. We are honoring those members above 75 years every year. Last year, we could not conduct the meeting due to COVID pandemic situations. We conducted, and it was very successful. It was very beautiful.
I think there is a connectivity problem from Mr. Krishnamurthy's end.
Breaking.
Yeah, voice is breaking.
And we'll talk to
Yeah, he has left. So, Mr. Murthy.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible now.
The only thing is that yesterday there was a NIRS Kerala AGM meeting, they have taken affiliation with our NIRS Mumbai. They have 550 members. So in all, today we have joined the 980 mark. That is the thing. It's a great achievement for
Great
our,
achievement.
and we are reaching nearly the 1,000 mark shortly in a span of 6 months. That is the thing. 550 members at one stroke. They have taken affiliation with our Mumbai unit. And so we are becoming stronger, as Manokaran ji has just now told that we have to be united. Now in Chennai also there are 600 members. Sir. Tell your Subramaniam to get the affiliation will become 1,500 and will be heard, will become the voice of our pensioners. That is the thing. So if we go on tying like this, everywhere it is. Rajkot also people are waiting, then Aurangabad, everywhere we are telling our new Indians to unite so that we can fight it under one banner. So as the saying goes that united we stand, divided we fall. So it's better to have one, and that only for New India. We are not extending it to other companies because it's not possible to do, because here only we are not able to solve our problems. Forget about the others. First, we should set our house on in the right mode, and then we can think of others. Because as it is, we have today more than 14,000. It itself is a very big number which has to be solved. If we become united, and as you said that we can fight it out with the management also, and we need all your help because you are well connected with the HO people and everything. So whatever questions we ask, if at all you go to Bombay, just put it on our behalf that pensioners are facing like this. That is the thing, sir. It's a sincere request. We thank you on behalf of making it so lively. I think that our members must have also enjoyed it. The way the answer, right from 1978, you have given a brief history of our New India as to how it was working and all. It reminded me of my old days when I joined. Yeah, there are many people who I think who have joined in that age group only. All are that age only, 76 to 80. Many are there, I think. Here, all you can see, right from the faces, I can see that they must have joined in that at that time only. And there were many, those are not the days like this. Now, it was not computerized. Everything had to be handwritten and everything. Like
manual, everything was manual.
Premium, DPSS and everything, whatnot. And cover note guarantee. That was the old days, which we used to do it. So I think we could recollect our past days of New India, sir. Thanks for your kind information.
Sure.
We enjoyed a lot, and we hope that we'll be meeting you in the future as this also.
Yeah, sure.
Another thing, I want to make an announcement that 31st December for all New Indians, we are going to celebrate on Zoom. So it is Band, Baja, and Bharat of New India for 31st December. 3 B's, Band, Baja, and Bharat. So hope that all of you will participate and make it a grand success, and see that you see whoever is an artist, like a tabla artist, flute artist, it may be your grandchild, it should be from your family, not from other families. It's a New India family affair. So see that it is restricted to your own family, means husband, wife, children, grandchildren, brother-in-law, daughter-in-law, and that. And if they are very good artists, please make a video of it, just send it to it, and with the next 40 days we'll be busy with that schedule, and on 31st December we'll make it. And if the urgent arises sometime in December, if things arise, there may be an emergency meeting which I may call for. Otherwise, December 31st is the D day for us. You see that you pick up your videos, do everything. Now already I've received some songs also of our from Jamnagar Bhuj. He has already sent some 5 songs. Another gentleman has sent another 5. So what we have to do is we have to anchor it, we have to process it, and it's a very big this event which we are planning. So we need time, because Anil Sharma, myself, and then Krishnamurti, who left, he's also a very good artist. Then flute artist is there from Kerala, Sushil Kumar. Like that, we are gathering information from everywhere and every nook and corner of it. And we want to show that New India is diversity in India, like that. Right from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, right? Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we want to show that in the picture, as to, God forbid, as to how it will go on. And we'll do our best, and we need all your cooperation. Please say that from today, you start sending your videos to my WhatsApp or to Anil Sharmaji's WhatsApp. We'll be planning as to how it has to be anchored and who is to do it, what next, like that. So next 30 or 40 days, there won't be any meetings. If at all, if there's an emergency or something arises, we'll be giving sufficient time, and we'll be calling for a meeting, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
everyone. Thank you. Mr.
Happy
Krishnamurti.
weekend.
Happy. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Krishnamurti, you want to say anything?
Krishnamurti is there?
Yeah, he has come back. He has
Okay.
rejoined.
Acha, acha.
Okay. The connectivity problem was there.
Yeah, we can understand.
Yesterday,
You are
the
audible
meeting we
now.
have- Yeah. I think I have shared all the things. Should I repeat all these things?
No, we could hear you.
We could hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
congrats. Ciao.
So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
In
you.
our
Thank you,
31st,
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
in our
Thank you, sir.
31st
Thank you.
December meeting, the Murthy sir is a groom of the band Baja Bharat.
Okay. इनके घर में झगड़ा मत करवाओ भाई.
She will be happy to see him the groom.
Oh, he will be happy, but what about she?
She will be also happy. She will be also happy to see him a groom.
No. I can say on her.
I never said the bride. I said only groom only.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Okay,
See you all.
bye.
Ciao. Bye.
Right.